Hello students, welcome to fourth session of royalty accounts. So I hope you remember the previous class in which we learned regarding journal entries with minimum rent account and without minimum rent account, and in the books of Lessee and in the books of Lessor. So in today's class, let us start a problem. From the following information, prepare minimum rent account. So we need to prepare minimum rent account. So they stated minimum rent is rupees 1 lakh. Minimum rent or the dead rent which is common for all the years. The same for all the years. Royalty per ton of production is rupees 10. So we need to calculate this royalty for all the years. Royalty is recoverable out of surplus in the first 4 years only. So this represents fixed royalty recoupment. Only in the first 4 years we can adjust the short working against surplus if any. So they have given 4 years informations and production in terms of tons. So the first task is to prepare the actual royalty paid table. So let me start with the table. So here year and output. So these two informations are given in the problem. I'll just copy these two things, year and output. They are given 2018 to 2021 details. And royalty per ton they have specified rupees 10. So this I need to calculate. So for this royalty calculation, output into royalty per ton. So in the year 2018, 7,000 tons of production into royalty per ton of production is 10. So 7,000 into 10 rupees. So it is 70,000. And in the year 2019, 9,000 into 10 rupees. So it is 90,000. In the year 2020, 10,000 into 10 rupees. So it is 1 lakh. And 2021, 12,000 into 10, it is 1 lakh 20,000. Royalty calculation. Output into royalty per unit. After that, minimum rent. They have specified minimum rent is fixed for all the years. So minimum rent as stated in the problem, it's 1 lakh. So which is common for all the years. So 1 lakh for the year 2018, 1 lakh for 2019, and 1 lakh rupees, same thing for 2020 and 21. I'll record the same thing. So here 1 lakh and here again it's 1 lakh. Then we need to calculate this surplus or short workings. ಸೊ ಸರ್ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಯಾವಾಗ ಸರ್ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೇವೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ರಾಯಲ್ಟಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ದು ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ರೆಂಟ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ಇದರ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಸರ್ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಅಗೇನ್ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ರೆಂಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ದು ರಾಯಲ್ಟಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದರ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಸೊ royalty minus minimum rent is surplus and minimum rent minus royalty is short working. So first year 2018 minimum rent is higher than royalty. So there is no surplus. Minimum rent ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ, ರಾಯಲ್ಟಿ ಪೇಯಬಲ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದೆ, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಸರ್ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ 2018 ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಬಟ್ ದೆರ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್. ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ರೆಂಟ್ 1 lakh minus royalty 70,000. So the difference amount as 30,000 represents short working. 2019 again 90,000 and 1 lakh. So again minimum rent exceeds royalty. Minimum rent is higher than royalty. So surplus is 0 and short working is 1 lakh minus 90,000. It's 10,000. And in the 2020, so both are same 1 lakh rupees each. So there is neither surplus nor short working. 1 lakh minus 1 lakh is 0 or 1 lakh minus 1 lakh is 0. And in the year 2021, so here royalty exceeds minimum rent. So royalty minus minimum rent 1 lakh 20,000 minus 1 lakh, the surplus 20,000 rupees. And here royalty is higher than minimum rent, so short working is 0. So let us consider the remaining columns at a time. Short working recouped, short working carry forward, written off, and cash payment. So short working recouped. So recoupment means we are adjusting short working against surplus. So short working we have 30,000. So this can be adjusted against surplus only if we have surplus in that year. So here we have short working of 30,000 but there is no surplus. So ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಸರ್ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ರಿಕ್ಯೂಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಿಲ್. So this 30,000, so we cannot adjust in the current year, but we may adjust in the next year. So ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಇರುವಂತ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ 30,000 rupees ಅನ್ನ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ಗೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ಯಾರಿಡ್ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಇದ್ದಂತ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾನು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ಗೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ there is no amount considered as dead loss. So it's also nil. So short working recouped nil because there is no surplus to adjust, and short working carried forward, we have transferred this balance to next year because we can adjust this year short working against a surplus of next year. And short working written off, the entire amount is transferred to next year, so there is no short working to consider as dead loss. And cash payment, the final payment paid by the lessee to lessor. So here formula is minimum rent or royalty whichever is higher. So here minimum rent 1 lakh, royalty 70,000, whichever is higher means minimum rent is higher, that is 1 lakh. Again the conditions continues here, less royalty recouped if any. So royalty recoupment is nil here. So 1 lakh minus 0, so the actual payment should be equals to 1 lakh. And in the second year, short working carried forward in the previous year is brought forward to 2019. So at the year beginning we have short working opening balance of 30,000 plus current year's short working 10,000. So total we have 40,000 worth short working, but there is no surplus to adjust. ಸೊ ಸರ್ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದಾಗಿತ್ತು, ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂಥ ಸರ್ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ 40,000 ವರ್ತ್ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಸರ್ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇದ್ರಿಂದ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ನಾಟ್ ರೀಕ್ಯೂಪ್ ಎನಿ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್, and the entire 40,000 rupees is carried forward to next year. So while carry forwarding the balance to next year, you should consider the condition. Royalty is recoverable out of surplus in the first 4 years only. That indicates we can recover the short working till 2021. First 4 years of agreement. ಫಸ್ಟ್ 4 ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಕವರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ 2021 ವರೆಗೆ ನಾವು ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕ್ಯಾರಿ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. 2021 ನಲ್ಲಿ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನ ರಿಕವರಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗದೇ ಇದ್ರೆ that we have to return off. So entire 40,000 rupees transferred to next year, so there is no balance to return off. So consider the last one, cash payment. So again the rules applies, minimum rent or the royalty whichever is higher. So again the higher amount is minimum rent of 1 lakh minus short working 0. So here the amount payable to lessor is 1 lakh. And in the year 2020, so we have brought forward the balance of 40,000 worth short working, but there is no surplus. Again in the third year there is no surplus to adjust. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಸರ್ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ. If there is no surplus, so we cannot adjust the balance, so we cannot recoup the short working. Again entire short working of 40,000 rupees carried forward to next year. So entire amount carried forward, so there is no amount to return off. Again cash payment, minimum rent or royalty whichever is higher, here both are same, 1 lakh rupees minus short working recouped 0, 1 lakh minus 0, so amount payable to lessor is 1 lakh. And in the year 2021, brought down balance of short working 40,000, surplus 20,000. So we can adjust short working against surplus. But here surplus available is only 20,000 rupees. We have short working of 40,000 but surplus of 20,000. So we can adjust this 20,000 only. So we can recoup 20,000. Out of 40,000, we have adjusted 20,000. So remaining 20,000, we have an option either to carry forward or to return off. So in order to carry forward the balance, so we can recover the short working only in the first 4 years. ನಮಗೆ ಮೊದಲ 4 ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ರಿಕವರಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಈ ಉಳಿದಿರುವಂತ 20,000 ಅನ್ನ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ಗೆ ಕ್ಯಾರಿ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ 4 ಇಯರ್ಸ್. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗದೇ ಇದ್ರೆ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್ ಆಫ್ the balance here. Out of 40,000, 20,000 adjusted because there is a surplus of 20,000, and remaining 20,000 we have to write off because we cannot carry forward. So we can adjust the surplus only in the first 4 years. So for that reason the remaining 20,000 has to be written off. So last column, amount payable, royalty or minimum rent, whichever is higher. So here higher amount is 1,20,000 less 20,000 rupees worth of short working recoupment. So 1,20,000 minus 20,000, so it is 1 lakh. So this is how we are going to prepare royalty table. It's very basic for our accounting treatment. So you should be very careful in the preparation of royalty table. So hope you understood. So let us move on to last concept, that is preparation of minimum rent account. So as like any other ledger account, so we have to prepare a table. So here debit, particulars, amount and the same thing for credit side. So let us see here. Let us look at the journal entries. So in the entire journal entries of SEX, so we have only 2 transactions for minimum rent account. ಎಂಟೈರ್ 6 ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಎಂಟ್ರೀಸ್ಗಳು ಮಾತ್ರ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ರೆಂಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಉಂಟು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಈ 2 ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೇವೆ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ರೆಂಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟಿನ ಪ್ರಿಪರೇಷನ್ಸ್ಗೆ. Again, they have asked you to prepare minimum rent account, and usually it will be in the books of Lessee books only. ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು ಲೆಸ್ಸಿ ಬುಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ. So for that reason I'll skip in the books of Lessor. So here we need to consider only in the books of Lessee. ನಾವು ಲೆಸ್ಸಿ ಬುಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೇವೆ and not in the books of Lessor. So if you are interested further, you can prepare a minimum rent account even in the books of Lessor with the opposing adjustment. So what we do in the Lessee book, the opposite treatments that we'll get for Lessor book. Fine. So here we have only 2 transactions, that is minimum rent due and another one for transfer of minimum rent. Minimum rent account debits to lessor's account, and here royalty account debit, short workings account debit to minimum rent account. So let us start with the preparation of these things. So first one, so they have given the informations for 4 years. Let us start with the year 2018. So I'll write 2018. So first transaction is minimum rent due. So as far as minimum rent due, the entry is minimum rent account debit to lessor's account. So on the debit side, I'll write to lessor's account. To lessor's account. So I need to record the amount. So for this amount, I should check our royalty table. So minimum rent is 1 lakh rupees. So I'll record the same thing. Minimum rent is 1 lakh. And the second transaction is for transfer of minimum rent. So as far as transfer of minimum rent, entry is royalty account debit, short workings account debit, minimum rent account. So on the credit side of minimum rent account, I will record these two entries. Again, the year 2018. So by royalty account and by short workings account. Again, I need to record the amount. So for this amount, I need to check the royalty table. So here in the year 2018, royalty is 70,000 and short working is 30,000. So in the year 2018, royalty column 70,000 and short workings column 30,000. So I'll record the same thing. Royalty amount 70,000 and short workings amount 30,000. So debit side 1 lakh rupees and credit side 70,000 plus 30,000 1 lakh rupees. And there is no other entries will appear in the year 2018 in the books of minimum rent account. So I'll close the books of accounts in the year 2018. So here debit side 1 lakh rupees and credit side again 1 lakh rupees. 70,000 plus 30,000. Again in the year 2019 same transactions will repeat. So minimum rent account debit. So in the debit side of minimum rent account, I'll record the same entries to lessor's account. Again, I should check the royalty table. So here minimum rent for the year 2019 is rupees 1 lakh. So I'll write 1 lakh rupees. And in the credit side, the same transaction repeats for transfer of minimum rent. So we should transfer this minimum rent to royalty account and to short working. So 2019, again the same entries will repeat. I'll copy this one. But I need to record the amount. So as far as the amount column, I should check the table. So here royalty column 2019 90,000 and short working 10,000. So I'll record here 90,000 royalty and 10,000 short working. The debit side total 1 lakh rupees and credit side again 90,000 plus 10,000, it's 1 lakh rupees. So we have prepared minimum rent account for the year 2018 and for the year 2019. Remember, this minimum rent account will appear only in the years in which short workings appear. ನಮಗೆ ಯಾವ ವರ್ಷ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಆ ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ರೆಂಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುವಂತ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ ದ ಇಯರ್ 2018 ಅಂಡ್ ಇನ್ ಇಯರ್ 2019 ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್. ಈ 2 ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಈ 2 ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಗೆ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ರೆಂಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಅಂಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗ್ ಇಯರ್ಸ್ in the year 2018 and in the year 2021, there is no short working. If there is no short working, so there is no need to prepare minimum rent account. So for that reason, so no need to prepare the minimum rent account in the year 2020 and 21. 2020 ಮತ್ತು 21 ನಲ್ಲಿ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ರೆಂಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಇನ್ ಅದರ್ ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಸೊ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ದಟ್ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ರೆಂಟ್ ರಾಯಲ್ಟಿಗಿಂತ ಯಾವ ವರ್ಷಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಆ ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ರೆಂಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಯಾವ ವರ್ಷಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ರೆಂಟ್ ರಾಯಲ್ಟಿಗಿಂತ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಆ ವರ್ಷಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ರೆಂಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡುವ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ನಮಗೆ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ರೆಂಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅಪಿಯರ್ ಆಗೋದು ಯಾವಾಗ ರಾಯಲ್ಟಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದ್ದು ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ರೆಂಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ. ರಾಯಲ್ಟಿನೇ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅಂತ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ರೆಂಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅಪಿಯರ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ ದಟ್ ರೀಸನ್ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ minimum rent account only in the years in which we have short working. So for the year 2020 or in the year 2021, we don't have any short working. So there is no need to prepare minimum rent account for the year 2020 or 21. So minimum rent account is over for this problem by 2018 and 2019. So hope you understood the preparation of minimum rent account. So the basic thing, only two transactions. So here minimum rent due and minimum rent transfer. So only for these two transactions we are going to prepare minimum rent account. So hope you understood this problem. Simple one, the preparation of royalty table and minimum rent account. Thank you for watching. Take care and happy learning.